Welcome to Stone Soup Poetry. I'm Chad Parento calling you from hell again. Last week it was hell because it was Halloween. This week it's still hell. But your calls and your donations to the poets and your participation on the open mic will eventually get me out of hell. Maybe by Christmas Eve, we'll figure it out. Thanksgiving is in a couple of weeks, so I don't particularly mind having to stay in hell per se during that because there won't be much difference. We're going to celebrate tonight's feature, Jackie Oldham. She has been a participant and she's been seen around the Boston poetry world in publications such as Oddball, others. I think Ibbotson Street as well. She's made her mark here in Boston almost as much as she's made it in Baltimore. Check out her website linked in the Stone Soup website, stonesoupoetry.blogspot.com. I believe the website is baltimoreblackwoman.com. Yes, and of course you'll be able to hear her work and find out other ways to support her. Hopefully the PayPal link will come tonight. If not, we will wait till tomorrow. And the video will be up usually around 8:39 tomorrow anyway. So without further ado, we go now to the open mic. And I think I want to start off first with, she's already unmuted. So let us go with Miss Nancy Dodson. You have to unmute yourself. You were already unmuted, Nancy. There you go. You're
War
good.
emotions. Can you hear me?
Yes.
War wages hatred there. Anger must disrupt our souls. God promises inner peace, bringing compassion dwelling within us. Forgiveness so hatred wraps up, grasping peace, peace, peace.
Truly a message for our time. I'm not joking. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nancy. And now on the completely different angle, the following people have been paroled from being a nuisance. Lewis, Bill. That is all. Up next is Bill Lewis.
How dare you mute me? I will go on mutiny against your muting me. This is something that you shall see. Oh, I will hang you nose from a tree. Bah.
I mute everybody, Bill, when it's time for me to talk. Okay, go on.
So, as many of you know, I have been talking about the issues of homelessness for quite some time and upsetting numerous people by not being quiet and all of that stuff. It happens. And then as I was leaving Cambridge, I had this brilliant idea that I could bribe Chris Ferrone and the Boston Independent News Journalism group to write an article on homelessness, a real piece, not a feel-good fluff piece. And heavens or murgatroyd, I gave them a pile of money that I thought would be a good bribe, and they found a matching donor. And so the first article has now been published, introducing Cambridge Unhoused. They are going to be talking about the realities of homelessness and policies on homelessness, etc., in Cambridge, one of the richest cities in the United States. And I am just overwhelmed and happy that I could be a tiny part of this. All I had to do is give them money, and that's something I actually could do. So anyway, I wanted to let you know that that was really cool, and it's coming out. These articles will be coming out directly. Now, for your entertainment, edification, amusement, or whatever, I was pondering various and sundry ideas, which is probably bad for your health, but what the hell, and ask myself, what will the world be like in 20 years? People won't drive cars, computers will. People won't need to drive cars. The fridge orders the groceries from the store, which delivers them to your door. You get to put them in the fridge, which will suggest putting the lettuce in the crisper and the tahini on the back shelf, seeing as how you seldomly use the tahini. Not to be worried, the kitchen knows how long tahini lasts and which of your friends enjoy it. You can go to the store and pick out the produce yourself, but why bother? Your kitchen program is better at it than you are anyway. You can go out to a restaurant if you want to, but it's so much easier to invite your friends to holo Zoom over for dinner. You can do the cooking yourself, and your friend's chef AI will duplicate your meal exactly in their house. It's good to get out for exercise in nature. Your fashion AI will select the perfect outfit for you wherever you want to go and whatever level of exertion it thinks that you will exert. Not to mention a color and fit that will please the positive possible mates, if any. Show you off at your best. There you are. We are smiling at each other, chit-chatting while your mind assist web browser evaluates the other person, going through their web history. Would you really want to date someone who raises floribunda roses? Dating will be a bitch. Too much information. Plus the fact, who needs the opposite sex? We have robots and for that, and androids. Who wouldn't want to have the perfect mate that behaved exactly the way you wanted it to, with the perfect shape, hair, eye color, etc., always attentive to your needs? The people can afford to have children won't, but the growing hordes of poor will until the government intervenes. Only the people who pass the test will be allowed to have children. Learning stuff will be so easy, but many people will resist. All customer service jobs will be automated, and you won't know because customer service AI is better than human AI. Tomato picking, automated. Farming will be so automated. Making the beds in the hotels, no, that will not be automated for another 100 years. Building a house will be a joy. You will design ideas with architect AI, which will clear the permissions from all regulatory agencies before you even have to file the papers, and you will break ground within the next week. No matter where you go, your AI will know. In the moments of ecstasy, it will record your feelings, your desires, your fantasies. It will know how to make you happy. Perhaps it will find you just the right human being and whisper just the right things into their ears, and you will indeed find wedded bliss. And with bedroom AI, you will never miss an anniversary, nor lack an appropriate opportunity or gift. We will travel the world on Zoom. We will make friends, start companies, fall in love over Zoom. There will be people who give us tours in their towns. There will be people who give us tours of their minds. Everything you want will be possible in 20 years. Will you embrace it? Embrace the future.
I think we suffered a glitch. I think he's frozen. Thank you, Bill. And thank you very much, Bill. And now we're going to go to our next open mic participant, selected by the Ramdonator 5000. Let's go to Jan Rowe. There you go.
Okay, this is a draft I'm working on. Usually it's less glum than usual.
Uh-oh.
Okay, it's called United Auto Workers strike successes. Reported on Halloween 2023 successes. Those making $17 to $19 an hour in 4 years will make over $40 an hour.
All right.
Those labeled temporary workers for years, that will end. That two-tiered wage system, less for the newer workers, for those poor younger workers, when things cost more, giving them less, setting up conflict between the older than the new and the new workers. Two-tiered, gone. It seems like there were some corrupt union officials, and there's about a dozen in prison. And voting has changed. It used to be very kind of weird and closed convention, and now it's rank and file. So also, and moreover, their union strike strategy was kind of new and different. They had pickets popping up unexpectedly. The workers would wear red shirts to warn the bosses that something was coming. There's still work to be done. Tesla, Toyota, Honda, and Nissan are non-union, but it's good to see the union have some successes. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Who to next? Well, the list grows shorter. Let us know now. Go to your friend and mine and everyone else's, Miss Carol Weston, who is now unmuted.
Age 16. Under the under the tiny golden circle of my mouth, clenched teeth, a tongue of fire. Afraid of the throngs of cognoscenti, burning with isolation, I stood eating potato chips among the throngs. Autobiography in 5 lines. Firm, the pollywog my father gave. Egg, tennis ball my mother gave. Fall, step I tried to take. Dream, the voice I tried to speak. Sun, the ball that lifts me in my arms. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol. And I'm hoping Ethan Mackler is interested in playing tonight. He didn't tell me he's not in the chat. So without further ado, let's have Mr. Ethan Mackler, the pulse of Stone Soup and many other Boston poetry venues. Take it away, sir. Thank you, Ethan. Lovely work. Now I know, this is how I know I'm in hell. All the good music's down here. So thank you again. And we're going to finish off this open mic with Mr. James Van Looy, who is back with us after his computer problems got settled. James Van Looy writes the column It's All One Thing, currently going past 500 weeks, as has recently Jason Wright's oddball column Jagged Thoughts, as I'm in my 10th year of existence of editing oddball. I'm gonna go cry in the corner now, but for now you can enjoy James's poem, and you can enjoy his column tomorrow, which is featured every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Thank you so much, James. Take it away.
Okay, thanks, Chad. So I got this poem here. This is kind of my Halloween poem here. Pure projection. That's just the way it is now that all the masks are so off. Even though nothing changes, a Halloween, All Hallows Eve skeletons coming up everywhere, wearing Patriot famous numbers in Bruins and Celtic t-shirts, and those super immune system bats and spiders, cobwebs and caves. No wonder everyone is too afraid to talk about what's so really going on and on and on again and again, showing all of us their true colors. There's Jolly Roger, and the skull and crossbone X marks the exact spot to which pure projection has led us. Yes, we're out on the old borderline with the laser screens blazing away. And here's a little song for you. Oh, every time it rains pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune fallen all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade them for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. Thank you.
Look anyway.
Thank you, James.
In the screen.
One of my goals moving forward in 2024 is to get Jason to try and get a collection out for you based on all your oddball work.
Okay.
So here's hoping. Up next is our feature. And just bringing up the boilerplate, boilerplate bio, the one that we poets love to write. Hopefully the feature announced for next week will be coming very soon. I've sent out a few feelers. Hopefully some takers will happen. And I'm not sure if we're going to have anything for the week of Thanksgiving. If we do, it'll either be like the day before or maybe on Good Friday or maybe on Black Friday. We'll figure it out. Here we go. And there'll be more. There's at least one feature slated for the first week of December, and one feature already slated for sometime in June, which I'll have to finalize. So hopefully we'll have more features than not in the weeks to come. And thanks to Jackie for featuring tonight. For those who don't know, for those not in the know, Jackie Oldham is an essayist, poet, blogger, musician, and photographer from Baltimore, Maryland. Her music videos, guitar, keyboard, and vocals are on YouTube and Facebook. Her photos, including work includes skyscapes, sorry, trees, and other subjects, can be seen on Instagram at Jacqueline.Oldham. And she's been seen on Oddball quite a bit a couple times over the years, and we hope she sends her work again. We want her work to keep on getting out there. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together 30 or 40 times so I can hear it even down here in hell from Miss Oldham. There you go.
Right. I have to call up my first couple of poems here on my screen. So thank you, Chad, and thank you, Stone Soup Poetry, for having me tonight. I'm a big fan. A lot of times I wind up seeing the programs after the fact, but I very much enjoy them. I've put together a group of 6 poems. I'll do as many as there are time for. And the first couple of poems I want to share are among the first that were ever published, and they were published in Oddball magazine. They're political in nature because I am a born political junkie. My first encounter with politics was the televised debate between Kennedy and Nixon in 1960 when I was 7 years old. And so here we go. The first poem I wrote in 2020 is called Golem Emet. And now I'm going to have to find it real quick. Here we go. All right. So this poem was written, or actually published, September 24th, 2020, a particularly bad time in our politics, which is still ongoing now, unfortunately. Golem Emet. On June 16th, 2015, America birthed its Golem Emet, when on an elevator he descended, announcing his bid to be its president. Did America know in that moment what evil it unleashed? Golem Emet hated the righteous ones. He spat upon their virtues, humility, hard work, sacrifice, compassion, empathy, bravery, truth. Golem Emet fumed and pouted, seeking devotion and adoration. His followers, sheep, anointed him. One by one, Golem Emet destroyed the righteous ones, most from his own generation, who had suffered and fought unjust wars and inequality, conquered their own human frailties to bring truth, justice, and freedom to their land. From their deathbeds, they called him out. They forbade him from their funerals. Still he gloated. Still he pouted and fumed. As a great sickness descended on the people in the land, he exclaimed, "I alone can fix it, but I am not responsible." Millions contracted the sickness. Hundreds of thousands died. On Rosh Hashanah, the most beloved saint for justice died from cancer. Thousands paid homage to her on the steps of the House of Justice. Thousands more wept and gnarled their fingers to the bone, crying, "Who can save us now?" Others saw the sign of hope, the day of her passing a double blessing, for she was anointed a righteous one of God. The gauntlet is now in our hands. Make the golem a golem met once more. On November 3rd, 2020, vote him out. Make the golem met no more. Thank you. I can't see you all right now, so I'm just going to keep going and find this next poem. Here we go. Loading. Okay. Okay, another technical difficulty here. How about this? All right.
Are you okay?
Yep, I'm good. Just
Okay.
had some trouble with the pointer there.
Okay.
Okay, so this second poem is a continuation of the not good, terrible, awful political scene we've had these last few years. This one is called I Don't Want to Play the Capital Edition of Clue, and it was published on January 14th, 2021, a week after the infamous January 6th event. Too many bodies strewn about, too many rooms to comb through, too many pieces of evidence splattered over the airwaves, hidden in plain sight like searching for Waldo in a sea of MAGA hats, uniforms, military and police, good old boys and lunatics, men in black and aliens, and members of Congress dressed to kill a bill certifying the president-elect was elected by and for the people. Elected by the people, except for this motley crew dressed like blazing saddle extras, signing up for Hedley Lamar's army of thugs, mugs, imbeciles, and traitors. The movie ended with cast and crew spilling out of the set, riding off into the sunset, and having a farewell beer. But the Capitol insurrection is not some comedic set. Though it covers the same American history, the outcome is anyone's guess. Now, I hope I'm still here.
You are.
Good. I'm going to switch gears now to a poem that I wrote and was published in Rigorous magazine. And this one is a more social commentary, but again, it's got a blaring alarm for our democracy because it's the age we live in now. This one is called Our Latest Fashion Accessories. On your left, you will see our Black and brown communities all decked out in their summer wear. Jaunty straw hats for the urban gents, paired with a colorful t-shirt, short-sleeved or white wife beater, longish shorts, calf-length socks, matching the tee, and sneakers or sandals to head down the street to the corner store to hit on the ladies and buy their smokes before they join their homies to pop wheelies on their souped up cycles down the middle of the main street. And just behind them, a group of fruit pickers, some same straw hats, but this time paired with a bandana to wipe their brows, denim jeans and shirt, sleeves rolled up to the elbow, and scuffed up boots as they make their way down rows of vegetables and fruits that will wind up one way or another hundreds of miles away to grace your breakfast, lunch, or dinner plate. You won't even wonder where on earth the strawberries topping your dessert or the arugula and tomatoes in your organically grown, no GMO salad came from. As you watch the pundits on the evening news declare how much they care about protecting the voting rights and civil rights of our Black and Brown communities in the last days of our democracy. And what about our red and yellow communities? Maybe they'll make next year's top 10 fashion accessories if our democracy survives. Thanks. All right. Let's see, bringing my screen back up. This next one is a new poem that's actually in submission right now, but I wrote it in July of this year, and I premiered a reading of it at a local poetry reading for pups and poets at our local park, Leakin Park, this summer. So here's the poem. I feel like Agnes Moorehead in The Twilight Zone. In the 1961 episode, The Invaders, Agnes's character, woman, like me, a skinny waif in loose clothes, wild-haired, wide-eyed, living in a backwoods hollow, is terrorized by a toy-sized flying saucer. Tiny robot explorers torment her with laser lights that blind her, whirring space guns, shooting darts that sting her. Guerrilla attacks so stealthy, she can't tell whether they're real or the product of her paranoid imagination. Woman uses every weapon in her arsenal, smoke from her fireplace, a broomstick to beat the living daylights out of one tin soldier, whacking it across the wooden floor until she collapses in a heap, almost orgiastic, her bony chest heaving in tortured ecstasy. I, in my oriental blue caftan, beat the errant spider, fly, or moth to a pulp on the linoleum kitchen floor or matted living room carpet before sweeping the carcass onto the dustpan and banging it into the trash can. As the story ends, Agnes Moorehead / woman sits on the roof of her cabin. I stand looking out my top floor window. We survey our hard-won domains as the narrator reveals the toy soldiers as future Earth explorers, warning their superiors to stay away from this violent race of giants. But poor dear Agnes, did you never consider there might be another race of giants waiting for us? Thank you. I'm going to slip in a quick break just to mention that my topics of poetry range from the sublime to the ridiculous to the who knows what. My next poem is something of a memoir-like poem related to music and getting older. And that's, here we go. All right. This one is called Piano Players, and it's also an unpublished and unsubmitted poem. Piano Players. My cousin, Brush Randall, played piano for free at the Arch Social Club or anywhere he spotted a set of black and white keys. Name a song, he'd play it, or he would just sit and play anything that came into his head. Unlike me, he played with abandon, not caring whether he missed a note or if anyone was really listening or not. At family gatherings, we'd take turns entertaining our clan with old standards and new favorites. At the end of each gathering, we'd form a circle, hands joined, and sing, "For all we know," followed by a raucous chorus of "Show me the way to go home." At midnight or 3 a.m. or dawn, as we said goodnight and departed to our various homes. In his later years, Brush had a stroke, and our family gatherings were infrequent. I asked him if he still played. Nah, he said matter-of-factly, because I told him he should still try, because in my own head, I feared that if I ever stop playing, it will be because I'm dead. Now that I'm getting old, I make myself put fingers to keys just to remind myself. Thank you. I've been a piano player since I was 3 years old. Music is in my blood that way. I learned on my grandparents' rickety old upright piano out of tune, and I could play any song I heard, and I still can just from listening to it once or twice. So that's my musical legacy that as I'm now 70, I worry about losing. Which brings me to my last planned poem. I just turned 70 on October 16th. And in anticipation of this milestone, I wrote this poem, which I have to bring up full screen. It is called 7 by 10s. At 7, I wanted to die. Life a journey I could not abide. Body of a 12-year-old in a bra. At 17, I decided to try. Still, I wanted to die. Life a journey I had to try. College bound. 27 and starting to bloom, a promising career and friends, making room for a bold, shy Black woman still learning her place. 37, I began to thrive until a nosedive into madness turned my world into apocalyptic nightmares and fevered dreams. At 47, I worked hard for the money, mid-level manager, single homeowner, 2 dogs in the yard. 57, jaded and tired, barely survived being fired, downsizing businesses with pared down visions. At 67, I was 7 years retired, fatherless, motherless, orphaned child, but I knew I was loved. 70 is coming, just days away. I wake up tired yet grateful for another day. Now, so many reasons to live, so little time left to give. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any comments? Anything appreciated? I appreciate this opportunity so much. Thank you again.
You said that you had just read all your planned poems. Do you have an unplanned poem you can read for an encore? Whoops, I think you muted.
Yeah, I did mute myself. I'll
Oops.
see if I can find one more real quick.
That would be awesome.
Let's see here. Okay, this is a short one. I'm actually working on a chapbook of
Cool.
poems about my experience having cataract surgery this summer. The proposed chapbook is called The Cataract Chronicles, and it did not go as I thought it would, but it's done now. So here's a sample poem from this. X-ray eyes. In jest, a friend suggested I now have X-ray eyes. How little did we know, he's right. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I see imprinted on the lids the last thing my open eyes saw. A page of text, a vivid splotch of color, or the texture of a towel I looked at settles like decoupage, disappearing only when I open my eyes again.
Thank you so much.
Thank
As someone
you.
who works with eyes and post-cataract surgery patients, or even pre-cataract surgery patients, yeah,
Oh,
that
wow.
I like that. I like that idea. I like the imagery in that.
Thank you.
I would love to. Let me know when you get that finished. We'll have you back.
Okay, I sure will. Thank you very much.
And I think you got an offer to send one of your poems to Minion Ariel King for her special journal for women of color.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, wonderful.
So I will. So you can probably see that if you save the chat, you can, or I can send you the information later.
Okay, that sounds great.
We can definitely do that.
Definitely. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I'm sending the info to you
Okay,
right
terrific.
now via Facebook Messenger, but you don't have to look at it right now.
Right.
And for those of you who want to donate or are able to donate, can you spell donate? Because she'll share her PayPal information hopefully later. Hopefully I can get posted tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
and we'll take it from there.
Mhm.
And hopefully you guys can stick around. And we got two more people on the open mic who just joined us. They actually came just in time. Yeah, I think only one person missed one poem, so it was perfect timing on the even the latecomers part. This is a nice little gathering tonight. And I know it's tough because especially if anyone participates on Halloween in any which way possible. We had a bunch of kids come to our place even with the cold, which was kind of impressive. So hope everyone was at least safe. I'm assuming everyone here was safe because, well, you made it, you're here. But hope the ones who aren't here were safe. We're gonna close out with two poets from out of Boston who have contributed to Oddball and Stone Soup in their own ways and continue to be very active in the poetry scene. Let's welcome up first Mr. Brian Franco.
Yeah, but I'm actually from Maine. That's okay.
I just said you were outside of Boston.
Oh, actually, okay. Well, I guess a couple hours, yeah. But I need to pull up a poem. Can you let the other person go before me?
All right. Then that case, let's go.
Oh,
with,
wait. Well, actually, wait. Hold on. I do have it up. I'm sorry. So,
okay. Never mind. All right, go on, Brian.
just found out that this poem is going to be the Sunday poem on Jerry Jazz Musician, which is a really wonderful online jazz poetry journal.
Definitely check
And
it
the
out.
Sunday poem, yeah, and the Sunday poem is one person is like a one person feature. They publish the poem, and I also get to record the poem, and they put it on the website.
Very cool.
This is called How I Achieved Levitation. They all lived in the Walnut Building. Satchmo blew the roof off the house. Fats Waller tickled ivories. Dizzy Gillespie flugeled. Billie Holiday wailed. Ella Fitzgerald scattered. Sarah Fawn redefined the vine with sassy. Lena Horne created paradise from stormy weather. Sinatra crooned. Sammy Davis Jr. played every instrument with unmitigated cool. Ray Charles saw the world through his songs. Harold Belafonte deode. Benny Goodman swung. Tommy Dorsey trombone. Buddy Rich drummed. Stan Getz saxed. Woody Herman clarinetted. Spike Jones orchestrated unconventionality. Lead Belly sat on a stool singing the blues. Barbara Streisand was there, churning butter. The Walnut Building had no elevator. All its occupants were made of vinyl, protected by paper sleeves and cardboard sleeves. They were carefully removed from cardboard, then paper, then placed onto a turntable, then a needle found their grooves. The music and voices emanated from speakers. I'd watch my father sitting in Mr. Chair, his leather Eames knockoff, breathing in through his nose as if he were breathing in fresh mountain air. He'd close his eyes, lean back, tap his feet on the orange shag carpeting, and lightly snap his fingers. He existed in the chair, but he levitated. In the family room of the Franco house at 305 Fernhill Court in Mobile, Alabama, to the left of the 1960s Danish Modern Wall Unit was the Walnut Building. 5 solid walnut cubes stacked one on top of another, just shy of 6 feet tall. Each cube with dozens of cardboard sleeved LPs, mostly 33 1/3, maybe a half dozen 78s. 2.5 years after Dad died, when I came home from New York to Alabama, when Mom was moving to a patio home, I decided the cubes were an apartment building in Hell's Kitchen or maybe Soho, decades before Soho was trendy. The musicians and vocalists held impromptu jazz sessions, creating masterpieces that happened once, never to be recorded for the masses, and never to become legendary performances at Newport, Monterey, or Montreux. The night I flew in, I sat in Dad's chair and existed in the same room with the residents of the Walnut Building. The needle grooved into the vinyl. I sunk into Mr. Chair's weathered leather, reclined, closed my eyes, and levitated. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Brian. Up next, we have I'm gonna start the screen saving options and introduce Mr. Robert Fleming.
Good evening. I'm Robert Fleming, a visual poet from Delaware. This past Sunday, I attended Java Speaks, where the prompt had to do with ghosts. And I decided to collect images of friendly ghosts and to ask myself, if I had a friend who was a ghost, what activity could we do together? So from this first picture, I would go with this ghost to the park and go on the swings with them. This next ghost, who's holding a flower, I would go to a field and I would pick 100 dandelions with them and make a bouquet. And this is I think it's the Goodyear car ghost. I don't know what I would do with them. This is one of my visual poems, which I wrote about Casper. Off-duty driver, drives Uber passenger, Casper ride complete. So the next two activities for me as a writer is I was asked to write an article for the Bewilderness blog on what is hybrid poetry. I finished that today and I will be submitting it tomorrow. So hopefully that'll be on the website by the end of the month. And my community.
Which website is this?
This will be the Bewilderness poetry. I'll put it on the chat before I leave.
Cool.
My community in Delaware is having a craft show this Saturday, and I will be selling some of my graphic arts there. So greetings from Delaware, and I hope everybody was able to start lowering all of their fear with some friendly ghosts as opposed to scary ones.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fleming. Up next, if she wants to read, it's been a while since we've seen her, so I got to ask, Lee Varon, if you want to read a poem, you're more than welcome. You're just here to watch.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can only get here late, but I just thought I'd check in. But I don't have anything to read. Thanks, Chad.
Okay, I understand. Well, maybe Jackie wants to read one more poem for. Okay, never mind. Okay, that was it. All right, terrified her for a second. Okay, well, with that, we've reached the end of the open mic. And I will hopefully have an announcement for next week's feature and hopefully the features for the rest of November. I am so glad you guys are here. This is a very nice reading, and check out notifications on various Facebook posts and elsewhere for Jackie's PayPal information if you want to give the poet a tribute, and check for her the YouTube version of this. The Facebook version is already running, and it'll be available for anyone who wants to watch it. But for those of you who can't get social media at work or would rather stream it elsewhere, YouTube version will be much more streamlined, and it will be up generally between 8:30 or 9. Last week it was late because I had to do a training, but hopefully it'll be up earlier tomorrow. And stay tuned for more news, and also the Facebook group for Stone Soup will hopefully include a couple more calls for submissions from various journals. Some people have put out a call recently. Other people have calls that are coming to an end. A lot of the Halloween stuff is gone, but the I think Spill Words is doing something for the holidays, and that's call for submissions came out very soon. I mean, not too long ago, I should say. So it shouldn't be coming to a close too soon. And all that and more will be announced. Stone's Throw. Thanks to those of you who sent submissions. And hopefully the next issue will, in a perfect world, I'd get it out by Veterans Day weekend, but this is not a perfect world. So I'm hoping for sometime around Thanksgiving week to just get it finalized and such. It may be right after Thanksgiving. It might be right before, and that'll be available as a PDF file and a limited print run. So, and hopefully with the limited prints, at the very least, going to the contributors. There is still time to submit something if you want. It's I believe the 7th issue of Stone's Throw. The theme is Aim for the Thoughts and Prayers. And I think you can surmise what that's about. And we're hopefully getting 1 or 2 more voices and then going to press. It's been, God, I think almost just under 8 years in the making, because since we announced it, actually about maybe 6, because I think we announced it shortly after 2017, and unfortunately in terms of mass shootings and other violence, we have not been at a loss for inspiration. So that announcement will hopefully be coming by the end of this year. That'll be very exciting to get that done again. I will talk to you guys later. We do the wave now. I'm waving to you from hell, so you guys can wave too. And a donation to the poet gets me out of hell. Check that out on Stone Soup, on the Stone Soup Facebook group and elsewhere tomorrow. And have yourself an excellent evening. Special thanks to Jackie for a wonderful reading. You can catch it tomorrow on YouTube and elsewhere, or maybe a half hour from now on Facebook. It can be like this every week, guys. All we need is you. The show's over. See you next time and have a good night.